Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check Late Night Edition, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. A lot of times our athletes are often celebrated when they're at the peak of their accomplishments. Sometimes, though, they fall on hard times, in particular as injuries start to take their toll. Well, tonight, Charles Fisher takes a closer look at how athletes hope to someday overcome this problem.
Right now, I suffer from a degeneration in my back, and it's due to sports. And it's very expensive. So I was always thinking about insurance. I think athletes should have insurances.
Former national softball team player Daisy Walker, that's the cry of many of the country's former athletes when they hang it up. Injuries that linger and they have to dig into their own pockets to take care of.
My back is terrible. And like I said, it's very expensive. I have to be doing therapy every 3 months. I have to do the therapy. Thank God I go to Cuba and it's not as expensive. But I'm sure the other ladies who are suffering, as I am, from some sports injury, and there's no insurance.
So with their years behind them, they are worried about the future athletes facing the same fate.
And if they don't have the monies, they just have to suffer after giving all our time to the country, so forth. So this has always been my concern for years. As I go to Cuba every year and have to spend so much money for therapy, they can't do surgery. They say, I'm just too old to do surgery, so I have to do extensive therapy.
Acting Director of Sports Kelsey Johnson-Sales indicating that athlete subventions have been increased to add the following.
We would have done that because that's the first phase in rolling out the other phases, which includes the medical, the pension, and the NIB. We're looking for an increase in terms of how much money they get per month, and that will allow us to now place them in a medical program, in an insurance program, as well as give them NIB, make their NIB contributions. Because unfortunately, we do have athletes who have never made an NIB contribution, and we're trying to change that. And this is the only way we're looking or see possible fit for it to be changed.
Also introduced the Bahamas Athletic Loyalty Program.
A number of our entities, corporate partners have come on board, which includes medical, which includes the physiotherapists, food places, places where you can go shopping, stuff like that. We're looking to launch that in January because we do have about 10 to 12 companies already, but we didn't want to cram our sports month, right? And those companies will be giving our subventive athletes. We're going to use the subventive athletes first because they're the ones who actually get the funding from us until we're able to, that will be the template, until we're able to make it all inclusive.
Let's get the ball rolling. Our athletes have done the country proud. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
High school volleyball back on the docket yesterday. GSSA continued play at the Donald Davis Gym. As y'all knows, getting us caught up on the action.
The energy was electric in the Donald Davis Gymnasium on a Tuesday afternoon as we saw a rivalry renewed in GSSA junior boys volleyball action. With the league gearing up for its playoff push, the H.O. Nash Lions in the light blue trying to fend off the sting of the T.A. Thompson Scorpions seen here in the Navy. The matchup would prove to be an intense three-set thriller. Opening set, the Scorpions would fend off a late rally by the Lions to escape with a 17-15 win. Set 2 would be the same score but different result as momentum would roar on the side of the Lions as they would win 17-15. Finally, in the third and final set, H.O. would get out to a comfortable lead for T.A. Thompson would rally. But ultimately, this one would be forfeited by the Scorpions as their head coach would cite issues with the officiating, allowing the Lions to walk away with the 14-5 final set victory.
Well, my boys were they started off a bit shaky, not calling for the ball. And then when we lost the first set, and they came back and they said, Coach, we got to win the second and third set. And they came and they hustled. They served like I asked them to. I said it was setting the way he needed to do, but they just hustled.
On the losing end, T.A. Thompson coach Donna Escabella speaking to ZNS Total Sports team about her issues with the officiating.
Well, the game was going well, but the referees for some reason had a problem with me and they took it out on my team. And I didn't like that because they are children. If there's an issue with their coach, it should be handled with their coach, not on the court.
Now, we also caught up with the head referee for the game, Lanza Miller, who offered this explanation.
One of the biggest issue was the fact that the rules are clear as relates to when a head coach is not coaching a team. The assistant coach takes over the responsibility, right? And what happened basically was she was trying to, in the middle of the game, during timeouts and what's not, she would come over to the bench and coach the team. And that's against the rule.
GWSA volleyball action continuing today at both the Donald Davis and Anatole Rogers gymnasiums. For ZNS Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
Jazz Chisholm and the New York Yankees in desperate need of a win last night as they played in Game 4 of the World Series against the LA Dodgers. Good news, they were at home. And also good news, their bats finally coming to life. Well, the Jazz and the Yankees racking out 11 runs. They go on to win 11-4 and stave off elimination in the process. Jazz is 1 for 4 in that contest with a run scored as he and the Yankees now survive to play another game, which will come your way tonight. Another must-win situation, a loss, and the Dodgers celebrate the World Series championship, a win, and they get to travel to Los Angeles to play Game 6, where that would indeed be unprecedented. The Yankees trying to become the first team to come back in the World Series after trailing 0-3. And Buddy Hield continues to fit in quite nicely with the Golden State Warriors. Buddy scoring a season-best 28 points, including 7 three-pointers. Golden State rallies from a 17-point deficit. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans 124-106, ends up being your final score there. Well, that's it. Your check on sports for you here tonight. Of course, we do have our weather forecast just ahead. Stay with us.